Okie dokie. How is it looking on that side? Let me see how this all works here. Now you all see exactly what's popping up. Oh, what up, yo? What's good? Can you see what's popping up on my screen? Like all the filters and everything? Can you hear me? What is good? Alright. Do you just see me on here? You're not seeing anything else that's popping up on my screen as I'm pushing these buttons. Like you don't see anything else. Like, can you see these filters? Is that filter working for you? Is that a blue filter there? Oh, look at that. What up, y'all? Oh, this is fun. Look at that. You can see all this? You can see the mood lighting? It's like a dance party up in here. Oh, okay. This is fun. Yeah, I do like that too. That's funny because I got a little light in my room that it does the same thing, but I don't even need to turn that on. We just turn it on here. So, I do like that. Let me see what else I got here. Dance hall. Wow, we good. Okay. Let's see here. Alright. Now, I like that first one though, huh? Where is it at? There it is. We'll stick with that for a second. Alright, cool. So, yeah, I don't know about doing this through YouTube because I don't know how I'm going to be able to record this. I got an Android and a phone, and it's going to take up way too much memory, and I want to be able to record these so I can put them back out for people that that couldn't make it. What's up? What's good? Okay. So if anybody's got any like any ideas of where else should I do this? What would be a better place to do this besides YouTube? I mean, or is this the right way? Should I just hook it up and get a new computer or whatever? Yeah, YouTube is Twitch, alright. There's a Twitch is one. Okay, yeah. I mean, I do want to record these. I mean, can you guys record this? Like if I had somebody record it on your end? Like if somebody want to record this and that way, you know, it's still there. Because when I start going off on tangents, I don't know if anybody, when I go off on tangents, these could turn into like 45-minute, you know, gems of craziness. And I'm like, well, what did I just say? Hopefully somebody recorded that. See, here we go. How is it on everybody else's? Because my connection's bad on this side. I'm catching a little bit here and there. Oh, the elephant, yeah. What you get if you cross an elephant and a rhino. Elephino. Ha. Elephant jokes, huh? I got a trunk full of jokes, huh? Okay, cool. Well, maybe I'll make plans to do this like I don't know. I kind of do everything off the cuff, man. I don't really go on a schedule. I kind of just vibe with it. So live stream, what does that say? Live stream saves it directly. Like the last one I was playing with, it was saved, but to upload it, it takes mass amounts in my phone. You're saying it's like saved on the web? Yeah, it saves it to my phone, but the like it immediately wants to upload it, and the upload would take, you know, like right now, if we're 5 minutes in, I don't even know, like it's probably like almost a gig worth. I mean, I don't even know how much, but like I don't have that much space on my phone, so I wouldn't be able to save it. It is in the flesh, the digital flesh. This is actually what I look like. I'm only half human. Well, I'm like a third human and a third digital and a third, well, I can't tell you what the other third I am. So what y'all want to do with this? You want to, I guess I got a few minutes. If anybody wants to ask me something crazy, I'll speak on something. If anybody's curious, or we can just play around this a little longer. I know you got females. Yeah. Well, here and there. They come in droves. It's either it's always the thing. There's way too many or not enough, huh? Speak on Ormus. Ormus, like orbitally rearranged molecular structures. I think people look at it a lot as Ormus being something that's alchemized outside of the body, and everything that people do, they always want to point to, hey, let's go alchemize something out of a body, outside of the body, so they can look at it and say, hey, here's the product. But literally, you can orbitally rearrange everything within your body. So the concept of using your body as the alchemical temple, this is why I go so far into fasting and why people need to clean themselves up. It's just starting with the equipment clean. You could take smaller and smaller amounts of whatever it is that you need to ingest and turn it into that salt, that essential orbitally rearranged structure that is basically the immortal cell, the atom, the unsplittable single monoatomic element, which is what would it would be the one thing that's inside of your body that would replace itself and become what you are. So you get everything out of your body. You get everything out of your. If you were playing in the kitchen, if you want to cook something, you're gonna clean everything. So you clean the body first, and then by putting things into the body, your body will actually make the Ormus. And considering that, as much as I speak about urine, hold on 1 second here. I feel you. It comes and goes, so I'm not catching all of what everybody's saying. Apple cider vinegar, I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, so apple cider vinegar, distilled water, and urine. Yeah, I think that as I was getting into the urine, your body's already making Ormus. You're already producing it. And we're talking about upgrading the potential for you to do that. The cleaner your body, the better you'll be able to produce Ormus. Because I think what happens is, because people's blood and kidneys and filtering systems are so dirty, we're shitting a lot of things out the back door. We're getting rid of a lot of the things that would actually turn into gold in our systems. But we're getting a little bit out the front. You know, we've already alchemize the entire situation and give ourselves the liquid in front. But those three that you were talking about, distilled water, apple cider vinegar, and urine. Well, apple cider vinegar, I think is I think you have to use it at specific times. I think it's kind of like a turbo boost. It's kind of like using hydrogen peroxide. It's like using alcohol even. All of these things they're great to use things outside of that category of pH 7, right? So you can go up or down. You can go to acid or you can go to alkaline. This is why I always talk about using different substances. Everybody's like, oh, alkaline everything. But they're not understanding the body needs homeostasis and it needs a balance. And sometimes the acids in your... Alright, there we go. Okay. I don't know what y'all heard last, but I was basically getting to the idea of using acids and alkalines in your body and apple cider vinegar. And I think that's something that can be a turbo boost for your body. I don't think it's something wise to fast on. Urine obviously is a great idea to fast on because it's your blood that's been filtered. It's ultrafiltrate. It's your plasma ultrafiltrate. It's the cleanest thing with your body in it. It's the solution to your exact dilemmas that you have inside of your body. Let's just say, here we go. Do you know your subs intimately? I'm on some mystical shit. Of course I'm on some mystical shit. And I don't drink too much apple cider vinegar, man. It's been a while. Like, I go through different phases in the way that I consume things. Here we go. Let me get off of this here. Is marijuana going to stop somebody from lucid dreaming? You know, I think it can. It's like this with all chemicals. I think there's a, and I use the term chemicals loosely. I'm not calling marijuana a chemical. I'm calling it more of a, here, hold on 1 second. I like the disco party. I want the disco party. There we go. Perfect. I think there's a point that you can reach a level of having enough of whatever substance in your body so that you're capable of basically accessing that memory of that chemical, of whatever it might be, whether it's a food or a drug or whatever it might be. Now, as far as marijuana, I think it can become a crutch, and it can get in the way, literally, in the way of lucidity. But other people, if you don't smoke and then you do, like some people will have profound dreams. So I think it's just figure out if you're not dreaming and you smoke a lot, well, then you maybe just go with the logical thing. Say, hey, what do I got to get rid of my diet? What am I doing that's not causing me to dream? And maybe it's that. I mean, I go in and out in the kind of substances I consume, and my dreams, whether they're just subconscious dreams or getting out of body or astral projection, it changes from time to time, and it's really reliant on my mentality as well as my consumption habits. And obviously then, you know, you get into the environment and people that I'm hanging out with and what my general like state of being is, where, you know, we can get into like ley lines and all of the heavier stuff, the bigger esoteric things, but really legitimately your body is the portal. And so it's just a matter of cleaning up what's inside of your body to access those spaces in your mind. And when you're talking about, I'll get into tanning beds in a second. Lucid dreaming, let me explain this for people that are new to this, that don't understand the difference in the levels of dreams. And I break it down a little different than other people do. Let me just jump on this tanning bed. Tanning bed's a great idea. It's you're not getting the full spectrum, but it's just like, would you rather be in a dark room or a room that has a light bulb that's giving you 10% of the spectrum? I mean, that's basically what it is. But back to this dreaming thing. So you dream out of your subconscious mind, and that's more of like where you're going to find yourself dealing with archetypes and your subconscious levels of, like, I don't know, this is something that was when I was 5 years old or 4 years old, or some memories that you might have that crop up as reoccurring dreams, and they're usually set in symbology, and they're usually set with archetypes and maybe animals, maybe colors, things like this. And these are things that you're really doing it inside of your head. And so that's one level of the dreaming world. And then there's lucid dreams where you become aware that you're dreaming and you have control over it. Now this separation is like, okay, now you're consciously aware and you can manipulate and control what's going on in your subconscious realms. and then you can get to different places. And then there's that split. The divide is when you know that you're getting out of body and you're pulling out your spirit from your spacesuit. And from there, what you have is astral realms, and you have, then there's one way beyond that I'll talk about another time, and it's I did a video. It's called I Met Neville Goddard. You can check that out. But the getting out of body in the astral realms, sometimes it's hard to tell because people are always like, oh no, you have a silver cord and you'll be very aware, and things will be like almost as, look at there you are. It's that you're that lucid where you become so lucid in an astral realm sometimes, but it's exactly like this right here. You're talking to someone, and you won't be lucid. You won't even be aware that you're in another realm because it will be this real. And so that becomes the confusing part for a lot of people. So there's a lot of levels to the dream world. So a lot of different, is it your astral body? Is it just something in your subconscious mind? So I think the way that you can, and to turn this back into the question about marijuana, if weed is something that helps you be conscious and lucid in this life, it will probably have a very similar effect in the astral realm. But if you find yourself disassociated or disconnected here, I think you'll have the same dilemmas in the astral realms as well. It's not working so good, thanks. Yeah, I had too much of that before. I had a cup I woke this morning. So I only got a couple of these things. I don't know how to rewind here. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Worship. P. Boyd, I don't know that. P. Boyd. Let's see. Ah, the copper pitcher. Okay, yeah, the copper pitcher can be really intense for people. The copper pitcher, the longer it's been sitting in there, you're going to really get a lot of the copper out of there. Now, there's a big discrepancy in, like I've talked about before, the different type of metals. So there's a reason there's noble metals. There's a reason there's metals that are malleable. And I think it has something to do with, why is there silver, gold, and copper? What is the connection to nobility, and how much of that should actually be in your body? So yeah, the copper also, that might actually be getting things out of your system that shouldn't be in there. So I can't address too much on the copper because I've only briefly used copper. So until I get a little more awareness of it myself, I'm not going to really dig too much into that. Tanning beds, yeah. Tanning beds are a good idea. It's just, again, you got to think of it this way. Think of it in the way of you think of music. Like, there's no bad music. I mean, yeah, country music sucks, but we're talking about the level of vibration. If this is like all of it, like different types of music, you might even get that much out of. Like, it's about how much nutrition you're getting out of something. And the amount of nutrition you're getting out of a tanning bed, because a tanning bed is literally the definition of what nutrition means. Nutrition is nux, or light. So you're getting a smaller value of that nutrition. Yeah, it's not, obviously the sun is 1 billion times better. You're getting an organic variety. It's hard to classify light coming through a smaller portal through a tanning bed, but certainly you're getting melanin out of it. Certainly your skin's getting darker, so there must be something of quality there. So yeah, tanning beds are, I think, a good idea. If you're in a region where you're not able to get the sun, yeah, I think it's a great idea. Semen retention, belly button healing. Yeah, I've heard about like putting oil in it and things like that. Semen retention. Man, that's a really big one, and to make it as simple as possible, it's always about, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with the nut? Whether it's money, whether it's literally ejaculate, like, what is the purpose of it? Why hold on to it? And this is just a question you need to ask yourself. How much of a buildup can you have? How much would you really how much do you really need? What's your goal? How long have you held nut for? I mean, there's plenty of good reasons to do it. Your eyes are connected to your kidneys. Your kidneys fill up your testicles. Your testicles get refilled by the energy in your kidneys. So obviously, when you release energy, you're going through. When you nut, you're releasing a lot of energy. That energy could be stored up that you need to get rid of. I've talked about that before. Like, you know, you could just have too much energy in your system. Like, man, you need to relax, homie. You know these cats out there. Like, man, you need to go jack off. You need to go get laid. Like, some people have too much. It gets stuck in parts of their body. You know, it gets stuck in them. And some people have too much energy for their own good. And for people that you know how to manage your system, if you know how to manage the energy, then the question becomes like, what are you going to do with it? Is the candle worth the flame as it is? You know, this is Alan Watts always says this, is how are you going to spend it? Is that time pleasuring yourself or being with someone else, is that worth it? It can be, of course. You know, going into that further, you can look into Tantra and you can look into Montauk Chia and the multi-orgasmic man and how to retain your semen but still have orgasm. It's a very high level, like, how to do that. But as this journey goes, like, you're always able to re-energize yourself. You're always able to. The idea of getting money is to go purchase something. The idea of getting energy is to use it. So people that get really caught up in, no, hold your semen. Yeah, to a degree, it's very good and very healthy, but it can be equally be just as bad. Think about people that hoard kittens, hoard money, hoard anything. When you hoard something, like, what's the point of it? You die tomorrow, like, shit. May it would have been nice to get off there, you know. Let me get back to these. There we go. 45 days. George Carey, yeah, man. I was going to talk about him today. George Carey and I don't know what that 45 days is in reference to. What do you think about precog dreams? I know plenty about those. And it's something it's tunable. It's very much tunable. A lot of it is you'll just start to notice things as synchronicities in your life, and then it becomes more consciously aware of what's going on around you to the point where you're building that into your dream world and able to, you know, start to recognize not only symbols but archons and archetypes that are in your dream world that become what goes on in your waking life. And so yeah, there's a lot. Everybody has precog dreams. It's how to decode them. And the more aware you are in your dreams, and the more you are aware of the archons and the archetypical forces, maybe like what a bear represents or what a lion represents, or what this color means in like, for instance, a long time ago, maybe 8-9 years ago, when I was cleaning up some of my organs, my chakras, and I had this dream. I kept having this dream about a yellow Lamborghini that wasn't running very well. I couldn't get it out of second gear. And funny enough, when you get into what the yellow color is and what chakra that is, and what funny enough, the symbol for the Lamborghini is a bull, and the connection between the bull, the yellow, and the bull and the chakra and the yellow color was all exactly the dilemma I was having in my system. So when you start from that direction, you how to put it, you would decode it from there, and then after you can do that, then you're upgrading to go, okay, now I don't need to look at the symbols. I can actually get into precognition of things in a more direct fashion, to actually go, oh, I'm going to run into that person tomorrow at this place. Not, oh, that person is symbolized by an elephant, and that person, they're going to be wearing pink tomorrow. And like, yeah, that's one way into actually kind of collapsing these waves that become it's a mess. let me try to make it this way. If you have dirty blood and you have dirty mirrors and you have a dirty window, looking outside, you're not going to see exactly what you're looking at. And that's what's going on in the body through your pineal gland. So as you're trying to extract information and project a future or to see something, if you have dirty blood and you have a brain that's full of murky waters, you're going to be seeing in the same way. So there's no way you're going to be able to have a vivid experience in the dream world or in the sense of precognition. So what you're going to get is symbology of it, because wherever you're getting this information from is of obviously a higher source, and it's still trying to communicate with you, but it's like, I can't show that person directly because they're too toxified, but I can try to use symbols to do it. So as soon as you clean yourself up, the symbols kind of go to the wayside and you can look directly at it. It's like looking into a crystal ball directly. Hopefully that kind of makes do to answer that. Reiki symbols. There's one. Can you see that one? There's a Reiki symbol right there. Choreki. Yeah? It's a symbol for power. Well, I think the... let's go on this blood thing real quick. The blood being your spaceship, the blood being the implosive force, the blood being the carrier of everything. Like, you can look at all the stories, all of the works. It always talks about the blood. What is so important about the blood? It literally is the living waters. It's the lifeblood. It's what you're made of. It contains everything. And if we consider blood is supposed to be made of water, and water is such a interesting fluid. It's such an interesting thing. It has so many anomalies. When we start to consider what water is and what the blood is, we can kind of we start to unravel the stories of why Bruce Lee says, "Be like water, my friends," or why the little stories say, "Be like a calm lake," so you can see the reflection. You know, like if your mind is calm and still, you can see that reflection off of the water. So we start to make a connection between what water is, what blood is, and what vision is, to get into Dan Winter's work. And I don't want to go too far with that, because we can visualize it, we can conceptualize it, but there's no way of explaining how to do it. You know, a lot of people try to explain, how do you do it? How do you implode your blood? Well, it's happening anyways. Your blood is going through your kidneys. Basically, it's getting compressed so much that it comes out the other side as the panacea. You have poisonous blood, it comes out as your urine. Poisonous blood becomes panacea. It's mirrored itself. It's went through it's went through a portal and basically turned itself inside out. And so that's the idea of how a seed implodes and turns itself into a tree. That's how your blood turns into energy. That's how a car, you think of an internal combustion engine, that's something exploding. But they always talk about, well, let's flip it around. Let's stop using explosion, explosive force, which is patriarchal, and we flip it around and we look at the maternal, the mother, which is pulling something in, which is magnetic, which is magic. So it turns implosive force. It pulls something in, and that's where you get the ideas of a spacecraft that don't use explosive energy but implosive energy. So when we start to use those concepts, we can look at what our blood does. And if we, right away, I've always talked about this, what is the explosion? It goes everywhere, right? What does our blood have in the center of it now? It has iron. What do plants have? What's in the middle of the green fluid, which is the blood of the plant? Whoever said that iron has to be in our blood? Who said that? Why? What's the difference between those two things? One is a magnetic force and one's an explosive force. I mean, we could look at this in very many different ways, but the practical application of how do you change the principles, because the principles are this: it's a 1 and a 0. It's a male and a female. It's a pole and a hole. We've been doing this all day. Everybody points at things. They go, this is how it will be done. This is the patriarchy. And the emptiness is like, no, it's all right there. So everybody's like, oh, he's throwing up the Illuminati sign. He's got the 2 goat horns. Oh my God. Yeah, well, this is just a circle. Yeah, this is the point of extraction of energy that becomes levitation. It becomes how your blood is supposed to look. Looking at my earlier work I was doing on the spherocytus and erythrocytus, and why your blood is supposed to look like what a spaceship looks like, because it's turning fluid and imploding it. It does it on its own. You just have to give it the proper fuel, and all we've been doing is fueling our blood with heavy metals, which are explosive, but everything else that we're looking at is actually implosive. Plant life is implosive. The noble metals are malleable and conductive. So when we start to put all these things together, we'll start to notice a whole new paradigm of the way that we need to eat, what we need to consume. And most of what we need to consume, as I'll kind of went on this long tangent here, is I express completely that you need to fast first. I don't want to tell everybody like, hey, tomorrow start eating this, this, and this, because it's not going to do anything for you. The same way I say, you can't expect to go get all of this plant life and extract it and put it into a tincture, and I'm going to give it to the guy that's been eating meat his whole life and like, yeah, this flour is going to save your life. No, it's not. It's not going to do anything for him. And in fact, at this level where people are trying to get to the next step of whatever their engagement with themselves and ultimately immortality, if that's what you're aiming for, you need to clean first. And so for me to tell you to do all these things, like I don't want people to come back to me and say, hey Zen, that didn't work. You told me to do this and it didn't work. Well, I told you to clean everything first. And so until you think your body is spotless, until you've got your organs in like high pitch whistling order where you can hear them and feel them, like it doesn't make a lot of sense to do the higher level things. It doesn't make a lot of sense to go take a junky old car and try to throw high octane fuel in it. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, hopefully that rant was something, y'all got something out of that. Kidney, yeah, implosion. Yeah, that's what's going on. Magnesium. Is Reiki satanic? Well, let me go ahead and define satanic for you. Satan is Santa Claus. Santa Claus is the gift bringer. It's presents. It just means Satan is the physical world. You're living in Julius Caesar's world. It's the mother. The mother is matter. The matter is Satan. The Satan is the physical world. The upper realms, the only division is your consciousness and thoughts, which is Jesus Christ, that idea. It's satanic in that sense, but don't quote me on saying, well, he said it's satanic. Well, I don't believe in Satan the way that most people would use that word. Just like thinking the goat god is evil. No, none of that is. Pan is not evil. You just don't understand what it means. It just gives you your experience. It goes, I want to sit in this chair. This chair is satanic. The phone that you're using is satanic. It's the present moment of physicality. That's what satanic means. So, is Reiki satanic? Well, Reiki is the pushing of energy into something else to allow it to heal. Well, is the healing method satanic? Oh no, yes it is. Healing means hell. Hell is where Satan is. See, we can play these games all day, but I don't divide things up into anything other than all is self, right? You can choose to see it how you want, but if you want to break the words down, yeah, sure. The breathing pot for anxiety. Core love stuff is excellent on that. One of the best you can do is just do the gamma breathing patterns, or you can get into the easiest way for anxiety. You would do something towards the sleeping breathing pattern, which is in the nose. So you're bringing energy into the skull and then out of the mouth. So you're pulling energy out of your head and grounding it out. A very good way to do that is 4 seconds in the nose, hold it for 8 seconds, and then breathe out for 7. That holding it will collapse all of that energy, and that 7 seconds pushing it out will remove everything out of your body. Do that a few times, and that should relax you and get rid of anxiety, definitely. And it'll definitely help you get to sleep. But as far as that gamma breathing pattern, that's basically working in a circle. Think of it this way. Think of your mouth, your left ear, top of your head, your right ear. These are the 4 things, the 4 ways you can breathe. Mouth, 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 nose, 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 mouth, mouth, mouth. So from mouth, mouth is your chin. Mouth, nose is your left ear. Nose, nose is up here. Nose, right ear is, excuse me, nose, right ear. Nose, mouth is your right ear. See, that would be the circling of the breathing pattern, which actually brings it all to the center of your face. And so the easiest way to think of it is, if you're breathing through your nose, you're bringing energy up here. If you're breathing in your mouth, it's going down here. Why do you think people that are mouth breathers, it's always, it's guttural, it's down here, there's no thought process. And people that are really like tense, they're always like sitting there with their mouths closed and just, they're like very like angry, you know, these people that are just, well, because they're putting all the energy into their skull. I mean, there's nothing wrong with either of these patterns, it's just where you're bringing the energy. And the energy meaning spirit, means breath. Where are you putting it? Into your head first or into your body first? So you can just easily think of it that way. It doesn't need to be so complicated with all these names and use all of these, you know, we can get into the mudras and what each of these do with the electrical system in your body, but most people aren't there yet. You don't need to know all that yet. But if you do, if you want to, we'll get to that and go a little farther with that. Mix of drinking multiple cups of urine. Let's see here. Squeak. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. That's really. I think that's just up to the person. You gotta feel it out for yourself, because vegetarian means nothing this day and age. Considering, like, you got to think, where do you live? Do you live in the city? Well, you're breathing a lot of crap in, so there's a lot going on there. How many, you know, growing up, do you have a lot of stored up memories that you didn't process? Did you have a lot of stored up chemicals? Maybe you took a lot of pills as a child. And there's so many things that go into this. I think you'll have a feeling and you'll know. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It could be a week, could be 2 months. Yeah, extended fast is crazy, man. 85 hours. It takes like 3 days. 3 days before your system turns off, where you can just go, oh, this is easy. It'll take about 72 hours before something just clicks in you and you go, oh, this is easy to do. And literally after about 72 hours, your stomach will shut off and you'll stop having those cravings. But of course, alpha, mouth breathing, yeah, okay, I just kind of covered that. They all have their meaning. They all have, I mean, alpha, beta, theta, delta, gamma, they all have their place. They have a very, they have a place. What are your thoughts on race? Are we all the same? I've answered that before in a lot of my videos. Yeah, to a degree. That's a really long one. I'll do that in a whole video. I don't want to cover that here. That's a really long one. Are angels real? Yeah, of course. And again, angels mean angles. They're angles of light. You're an angel. I'm an angel. Everything is an angel. It's an angle of light that, okay, and I suspect and suppose that what you mean is like angels. different dimensions. Yeah, because they're covering up they're part of a different aspect of the light spectrum. They might be outside of what you can normally see. And then when you get into like people with higher levels of understanding and wisdom, they cover more of the spectrum. You know, you get into like what an Archon. Could you become an Archon? Do you think Zen is an Archon? I mean, yeah, why not? You know, that's always the thing, is if we're always... See, not everybody upgrades this life. Some people are downgrading throughout their entire life. Some people upgrade, some people, you know, balance off, you know. Yeah, I suppose you can grow to be whatever you want, whether that's a larger angelic being, you can step outside of time, you can become an archonic force. I don't see why not. It would seem like that is the goal. It seems like where we came from. Symbol science, attunement. I'll do that a little later. Cam. Oh, speaking on tattoos, I did one a while ago on this specifically. I would suggest, if you can, make your own and get into looking into using gold, silver, even nanocrystals. Really, I mean, look into different kind of inks. Look into ancient cultures and what they used. Because a lot of things, the inks that are being used these days are, probably don't want them in or on your body. And there's a lot of power to tattoos. There was a dream I had. It wasn't a dream. I walked into this giant room, and there was this huge fireplace, and there was this shaman sitting next to the fireplace, and I walked over to him, and 3 of my tattoos were glowing gold. It was very, very interesting. And one of them is this Om symbol I have of... Here, I'll show it to you. Let's see if it... Here. That one right there. Can you see it? There it is. That is that's an Om symbol from Tamil, one of the most ancient languages. I liked it because it looked like an alien skull. So, inks, yeah, look into making your own, man. That's what's up. Look into using nanocrystals. Look into using different types of elements. I mean, different, even really, to go a little farther with this, look into using different trees. You burn down the tree, you have the ash of that tree that can be used. There's something to that. Yeah, thanks about the blood videos. Reishi mushrooms. That's so funny. I was just drinking some some reishi tea. I'll do a long video on mushrooms because I have a few theories on that. It's interesting that mushrooms happen to breathe as well, so I don't. That's a very long-winded one. But I have different ideas about. Actually, I have some. What do I have in the kitchen right now? I have reishi mushroom, and I have. You know what? What's the other? Chaga. I just got some chaga too. Chaga is basically melanin. Chaga is what the sun makes as melanin for people that live in the north. Think of it this way: if you can't get your melanin from the sun because you're in a cold climate, nature is so smart that it grows mushrooms on trees that are made of melanin that you eat. But I don't think the reishi is the most powerful. I don't know. Chokure, yeah. else here? Oh, spirit guys, just to go a little farther on that. Yeah. And this, I mean, it goes in the same thing. Somebody asked me the other day about spirit guides. Yeah, this is why I drank a lot of alcohol. I've drank way more alcohol than most people on this planet. Why? Because I wanted to know what spirits were. It's why it's called jinn. It's a genie. It's a genie in a bottle. It'll give you anything. Some of it's bad. Some people don't like alcohol. It doesn't work with them. Some people it does. Some people have all sorts of different experiences on alcohol because it is literally a genie in a bottle. You rub the bottle and out comes the genie. And so plants have spirits. That spirit turns into what's in that bottle. And so spirit guides, yeah, a human being is a spirit. And here's what I was saying the other day about spirit guides in the human form. I think you can walk down the street and meet someone that just happens to be part of your experience that takes you somewhere. They themselves have no idea they're doing it, yet they're a spirit guide for you. But there's another level to it where there are people that are literally very aware of what they're doing and where they're bringing you, because they're connected to what I guess you'd consider your higher self, or a higher form of collected consciousness, being of the same soul group. And they actually are like, okay, I know where I'm taking this person for this purpose, because my higher self was with their higher self. Imagine that. Here's this person I'm walking with, and I don't know that my higher self is talking to that person's higher self and saying, hey, come on, let's go this way. But he's connected, or she's connected to her higher self already. That, I think, happens way less, but it definitely does happen. I think most people are just spirit guides in the sense that, hey, that was a great journey that we had together. All-seeing eye, pyramids. Yeah. How would I explain pyramids? Let's see. Why does anybody use anything? Because it offers them a degree of power that other people don't have. I think that I think there's so many levels to the media that I think people get it confused. Where like a lot of these people in Hollywood, you go, they're evil, they're satanic. I don't think so. I think there's a small degree of them that are. And I think that most of it is, it's what you call forced perspective. And Noam Chomsky does a lot on this. This is like cultivating your perception. And so your perception of anything that goes on in Hollywood or anywhere else in the world, like, you have no idea. That's what I always like you don't know these people. And to focus any of your attention on them is pointless. Focus your attention on what they might be doing and using, and use those same types of practices. That's the goal here, I think. And if we use them because they are stars, and if we use them for what they actually are, if you were to navigate the sea, you would look at the stars. You would never go, that's a good star or a bad star. You would look at the star and you go, what information is that providing me? And you'd say, oh, it's using a pyramid, it's using this. And I would just learn from that. You asking me about me drinking alcohol? Oh man, over the years, I drink a lot of alcohol. This is why I say, don't do what I do. I want a different route to get to my wisdom of spirits. It's very messy. It's a messy game. Where I am now, no, I don't drink as much anymore. No, because it's not worth it. Like, I already have my bumps and bruises and lessons, so I can use smaller quantities now. Like, a small quantity of alcohol will get me to exactly where I need to go, just like with any other substance, because I've become accustomed and familiar with what those things are. So one little, like the smell of something, think of it this way. The smell is the most profound thing because it will bring back a memory. Your connection between your nose and your brain, there's no filters. So your capacity to get into a memory is instantaneous. Now with other elements, you can do the same thing. So by using less of the same element, I can get to the same place and I have a data bank of, say, all of the drugs I used growing up, and then all of the alcohol, literally different spirits, different bottles of alcohol, different vodka, gin, rum, what's inside of each of those. I have access to those because they've went through my system. So by a small amount of that, I can access anything in there. It's like, in a sense, like people talk about going to Akashic records. Well, you could smell something and you could go to that place. Remember when you're 5 years old? Remember that smell of you know, think of a campfire. Smell of a campfire. You could bring yourself right back there in your memory. So we can use the same thing with even a touch, with different kind of objects and sights and sounds as trigger points to get us to awareness levels of consciousness. So no, I wouldn't suggest to other people to drink to get drunk. Small amounts. Learn about it. Pyramid and the 4 L's, yes. I like that. You think birth charts and numbers... I'm guessing you're asking me what do I think about birth charts and stuff? Yeah. They're very valuable. It's like someone that says astrology has no value, they're the most controlled by it. Once you know that astrology claims and holds systems of energy that go into your body, once you know that, then you can release yourself and adjust those things. So it has a very big impact on people's lives until they're aware of what it is. David Icke and Reptilian Theory. Man, David Icke was, for me, David Icke was 16 years ago, like, getting into all this. I don't know, man. Reptiles on